Hey gang, welcome back to the Philippines. Today I want to talk about drama on YouTube, which is not something I normally get into. That's really not what my channel is about. It's about traveling and experiencing different cultures and stuff. But recently, in the last several weeks, and this has affected me now and it's affected a couple of my friends, YouTube has once again started demonetizing channels out of the blue, has started canceling channels for things that have absolutely nothing to do with YouTube. And today I've decided to kind of break my silence on this and just address what I'm seeing going on. So I have collaborated with several YouTubers over the years that I've been on YouTube. I've been on for 2 years now. And about a year ago, one of my friend's channels, him and his wife, they basically travel around the world, Vietnam, Cambodia, to Eastern Europe. They've been to the Philippines, and they show the different cultures of these places that they go to. And so last year, after having been on YouTube for like, I think 6 years, traveling around the world, showing different cultures, different foods, helping people gain residencies and jobs in these countries, their channel was totally canceled. Now, they had never had a single strike on their channel. Their channel has nothing whatsoever to do with politics. I'll be honest with you, I've known them for a couple of years, and they're from the United States. I have no idea if they're Republicans, Democrats, whatever. Don't care. Politics is just not something that comes up with them. Certainly doesn't come up on their channel. And the reason that their channel, which had never had any strikes, got canceled was they were in, it was either in Laos or Cambodia, I can't remember which, but they were showing different cultural things about those countries, and they were showing a chicken fight. Now, it wasn't one where they gamble and it's, you know, to the brutal end. It was a demonstration. The chickens didn't get harmed, anything else, and they got a strike against their channel. So they tried to cut the video and put it back up to take out what they thought YouTube didn't like, because YouTube doesn't really tell them. And when they did, their channel was gone. Years of work just completely down the drain. And that fast forwards to another friend of mine of what happened to just about 3 weeks ago. So about 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine who has a YouTube channel, he's had one probably about 6-8 months longer than I have. He built it up. It was a pretty sizable channel, like 20,000 subscribers. And he was mainly doing Albania and Turkey. He also did Thailand and a couple other places, but Turkey and Albania were his main two stomping grounds. And his channel, again, was about travel. It had nothing to do with politics. But he also would go to like fake markets and show, you know, what was going on there, what you could buy, what people were selling. And he had a couple of shorts that were on his channel. And again, no strikes ever, no warnings on his channel. And then all of a sudden it was gone. 2.5 years, almost 3 years of work just completely gone down the drain. And in that case, that was also, the camera here, that was also his livelihood. And so it took away his ability in that case to generate revenue through one of his main revenue streams. And these things all were done without warning. YouTube wasn't giving anybody any notice on this stuff. So I'm about to get into in a second how this has affected my channel recently. Sorry if it's noisy here, there's motorcycles and stuff going by on the street. But before I get into what happened with my channel, YouTube has had a history of going after people who did not agree with them politically. And it's really not even a left-right thing. It's more of an authoritarian freedom thing, because they were really, in the beginning, attacking people who really were centrists. They weren't really left or right. They were just for freedom, for individual freedom, and not for authoritarianism. And that's who they started attacking first, because those people don't have, they might have big followings, but they don't have a lot of power in Western governments. It's usually the far right or the far left that has any power. And so these were easy first people to go after. People that were libertarians or classical liberals. And then YouTube started going after people on what I would call the right. not necessarily far right wing, but right wing ideologies. And then they started going after the progressive far left and started demonetizing and banning those channels. And again, all of those were about politics. I'm against demonetizing anybody because of their political beliefs or the content that they produce. If you want to make it to where it's not going to be shown to children, or that you don't want it to be advertiser friendly, that's fine. But completely taking away the ability for people who are adults to watch certain content, even if it's political, if they want to see different points of view, I don't understand why we can't trust people to make their own decisions there. And it's something that's always upset me there. But now seeing this spill over to travel channels that have absolutely nothing to do with politics is kind of ridiculous. So this brings me to my channel. So I've never had a single strike or anything against my channel. Nothing's ever come up that I was doing anything wrong. After all, what I'm doing, basically traveling around the world, I'm showing different cultures, I'm trying to show food, I'm telling people who want to go to different countries how you can do this, what the cost of living is, how in many cases you can have a better lifestyle than in your Western country back home for so much less cost, and how some of these places are in many ways just better than the places that you might be coming from. So I've never had any problems up until now. And so recently I did a video, and I went out and I did a whole day on it. I had done the same one basically last year, where I went to a festival here in the Philippines to show off a particular style of barbecue cooking that they do here in the Philippines, which I find it's absolutely delicious. It's fun. I'll put a link to the video that I did below. And so when I published it, something unusual had happened. I got a warning that the video was going to be limited on revenue, and it was also going to be limited on reach. So I went in, I was like, there's nothing wrong with this video. I'm just showing food preparation and Filipino culture, which is great. Well, apparently YouTube does not think Filipino culture should be shared with the world, because I appealed that and I got back a message from YouTube that said that the food preparation and the way the food was being served and eaten was disgusting, number one. They literally said that. And number two, that it was shocking, and that the entire video was meant to shock. Well, it wasn't meant to shock anybody. It was just meant to show how this wonderful festival occurs, how the Filipinos do food, how they celebrate food, how it's part of love and culture, and a central part to Filipino culture and traditions. And I wanted to share that with the world. So at first I thought it was just going to be, it's going to be limited monetization, so it doesn't make a lot of money. And I'm like, I don't care. I did YouTube for a year. He honks his horn because I don't know. But I really didn't care that much about the money, because at the end of the day, I did YouTube for a year. I didn't get paid a dime. I didn't care about that. I do. My channel's monetized now, so it does make some money. It has for over about the last year. But that's not the principal reason that I do this. I don't make a living off of YouTube. So if that was the only thing about it, I would have been like, okay, whatever. This is for the fans. This is to show off the stuff. But it also gave it limited reach. So it wasn't going to show it to a wider audience. So for instance, anybody who was not logged in to an account in YouTube couldn't see it. So if somebody did not have an account, or they weren't logged into their account, and they were just scrolling through YouTube without being logged in, video couldn't even be seen. Would be denied to be even if you searched for it directly, you couldn't find it. And that's irritating when you go out and you do so much work. Basically, I spent a half a day doing that. And again, the monetization didn't bother me. That really wasn't the big thing. But there are YouTubers who do this for a living, and that would crush them if they can't go out and show culture and share Filipino culture or Cambodian culture or any of those things. And so that, for instance, that one, It actually did make a little bit of money. I think I made $1.45 off of it. Didn't even pay for the gasoline to get there, let alone back. But that wasn't the big thing. It limited the reach to where it got very, very few views. And again, sometimes you put videos out and they don't do so well, and that's fine. It's not what people want. But I know that that video would have been popular because I had gone to the exact same festival last year before YouTube changed these rules. And I published essentially a similar video of a much smaller festival because it was still during the pandemic or the end of the pandemic and things hadn't totally reopened. And that one got like almost 20,000 views, had a huge reach. I mean, it's not a ton of views, but it's pretty darn good. And then monetization wise, I think still didn't make a lot of money. I think I may have broke even as far as the trip and everything else, but I think it got total like $65. And again, I don't do it for the money, but a creator who goes out and does that, if they're gonna lose $60 every time they do a video, not from what they get paid, but from what their expenses are in making that, suddenly you're gonna see lots and lots of creators that don't have the resources to go out and do this for a hobby. You'll see their channels disappear. So anyway, it's frustrating because I now have 2 friends that completely lost their channels. And again, they're travel channels. They're not political. They're not going against, you know, the horse crap narrative that whoever is YouTube is spewing out there. It's just that they don't want their audience to see Filipino culture or Cambodian culture, or in this case, I think it was Turkish culture. And it's sad because YouTube was always a place where you could go outside of, you know, cable and Netflix and these other places and see the real world and travel creators going out there and doing it. So I don't know what the answer is, guys. Maybe you do. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. What is the solution that we can help these other content creators so that their stuff still gets put up and also gets monetized, because a lot of them depend upon that. They don't have the resources or a separate job like I do that they can go out and they can fund that. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I thought it was time that I spoke up and stopped remaining silent, because I've got so many friends who are in this industry that this is their job. I mean, this is their principal job. It's how they make money. They obviously put out a lot more content than I do, and they're treating it like a business rather than like a hobby. But you know, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the work they do. I enjoy the content that they produce. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know what yours are.